Are you lost? Patricia Walsh's voice cuts across First National Bank's marble executive floor. Her manicured finger points dismissively toward the elevator. Regular banking is downstairs. This floor is for actual premium clients. She slides a gold placard across the counter. Premium clients only. Her smile drips condescension. Kwame Richardson, 42, stands in his polo shirt and khakis. The crystal chandelier suddenly feels judgmental. Oil paintings of white founders stare from mahogany walls. I have a 3 p.m. appointment. Executive banking, he says quietly. Patricia checks her Rolex. 2:58 p.m. Her laugh is theatrical. Oh, honey, I'm sure you do. Opening your first checking account? How adorable. She waves toward leather chairs like dismissing a servant. Sit. Wait. Maybe someone will get around to you. Eventually. Have you ever been judged before anyone learned your name? 1:15 p.m. The digital appointment board still glows. K. Richardson, 1:00 p.m. Executive consultation. Kwame sits motionless in the leather chair. Patricia busies herself with paperwork, deliberately ignoring him. A white man in a tailored Armani suit approaches her counter. No appointment. Patricia's face transforms into genuine warmth. Mr. Davidson, how wonderful to see you. Her voice is now honey sweet. Please come right through. Robert will see you immediately. The man disappears into the executive office. Kwame checks his Apple Watch. 17 minutes late. 1:30 p.m. Patricia's heels click across marble as she approaches Kwame's chair. Sir, I'm starting to think there's been some confusion. She emphasizes the word like he's mentally deficient. Are you absolutely certain you're supposed to be here? The community branch on State Street handles your type of banking. Her voice carries. Other clients glance over. Kwame feels their stares burning into his skin. I'm certain, he replies calmly. Patricia's sigh is theatrical. Well, you'll have to keep waiting. Executive banking is very complex. Probably not what you're used to. 1:45 p.m. Security guard Jerome Washington enters the floor. African-American, early 50s, uncomfortable in his uniform. Patricia waves him over with a subtle gesture. Her whisper isn't subtle enough. Keep an eye on that one. He's been here 45 minutes claiming he has an appointment. Won't leave. Jerome's jaw tightens. His eyes meet Kwame's briefly. An apology flickers across his face. Ma'am, maybe we should check. I've checked, Patricia snaps. Just monitor the situation. Jerome positions himself near the elevator, visibly uncomfortable. 2:00 p.m. A Latina woman in her 30s enters. Angela Torres, wearing scrubs, clearly just off a hospital shift. She approaches Patricia with paperwork. I need to access my safe deposit box, Angela says politely. Patricia barely glances up. Appointment? I called yesterday. You said walk-ins were fine for safe deposit. That was yesterday. Policy changed. Patricia's tone is ice. Make an appointment. Angela notices Kwame still waiting. Her eyebrows furrow. Excuse me, how long have you been waiting? She asks him directly. About an hour, Kwame responds quietly. Angela's eyes narrow. She pulls out her phone. This is wrong, she mutters, opening Instagram Live. Y'all need to see this discrimination happening at First National Bank. Patricia's head snaps up. Ma'am, this is private property. No recording. It's a public business, Angela shoots back. I'm documenting this. The viewer count climbs. 12, 47, 156, 2:15 p.m. Patricia storms over to Kwame. Sir, I don't know what game you're playing, but you need to understand something. Her voice trembles with barely contained anger. Executive banking is for serious investors. 7-figure portfolios, real estate holdings, business ownership. She leans closer, lowering her voice to a venomous whisper. I've been doing this for 12 years. I can spot a wannabe from a mile away. Whatever little savings account you're trying to upgrade, We're not the bank for you. Kwame's response is steady. Define serious. Patricia's laugh is sharp. Excuse me? Seriously. You said serious investors. What's your minimum? Are you kidding me? Patricia's professionalism cracks. We're talking millions, honey. Multiple properties, corporate portfolios, the kind of money that actually matters. I see. Kwame checks his phone. A text appears. Board meeting moved to 2:30 p.m. Confirmed. And you've reviewed my file? Patricia's face reddens. I don't need to review anything. I have eyes. Angela's live stream comment section explodes. This is disgusting. Sue them. What bank is this? Call the news. Viewer count. 834, 1,247, 1,891, 2:30 p.m. District Manager Sarah Carter arrives, her expression tense. She's clearly been monitoring social media. Ms. Walsh, I need to speak with you. Sarah's voice is clipped, professional. They retreat to a corner. Their whispered conversation grows heated. Patricia gestures frantically toward Kwame. Sarah approaches Kwame directly. Sir, I'm Sarah Carter, District Manager. I sincerely apologize for any inconvenience. May I see some identification? Kwame produces his driver's license. Lincoln Park address. $2.5 million average home value. Sarah's eyebrows raise slightly. He adds his corporate American Express Centurion card. Black metal. Sarah's expression shifts noticeably. Mr. Richardson, there seems to have been a miscommunication. Let me get Robert immediately. Patricia interjects sharply. Sarah, I've been handling this. He doesn't have... Patricia. Sarah's tone cuts like a blade. Step back. But the damage spreads beyond the bank walls. Angela's video has been shared 1,200 times. Chicago's Black Twitter community picks up the story. #First National Shame trends locally. The bank's corporate Twitter mentions explode with angry customers threatening to close accounts. Patricia remains oblivious to the digital firestorm she's created. 3:00 p.m., 2 hours after his scheduled appointment. Mr. Richardson, Patricia announces loudly enough for the remaining clients to hear. Our executive banker is still unavailable. Perhaps you could call tomorrow? I'm sure there's been some misunderstanding about your appointment. Her emphasis on misunderstanding draws knowing looks from white clients. Kwame remains seated. I'll wait. Patricia's frustration boils over. Sir, you've been here 2 hours. Maybe this isn't the right fit for you. Angela zooms her phone camera on Patricia's face. The live stream now has 2,847 viewers. Comments flood in. Get her name! This is 2025 racism. Someone called corporate. My appointment is important, Kwame says simply. Patricia's laugh borders on hysterical. Important? Honey, important clients don't wait 2 hours. They get seen immediately. Jerome shifts uncomfortably by the elevator. His radio crackles. Security for another client. But that client, white, no appointment, walks straight past Kwame into Robert's office. The insult couldn't be clearer. 3:15 p.m. Patricia's patience evaporates completely. This is ridiculous. She marches to Kwame's chair, her heels striking marble like gunshots. Sir, I'm going to be very clear. You've been here for over 2 hours. Our executive banker, Robert Sterling, is with actual clients, important people with real money. She gestures broadly at the opulent surroundings. Do you see this office? The marble, the artwork? This isn't for people like, well, people who wait 2 hours without complaining. Angela's live stream viewer count hits 3,421. Comments scroll rapidly. Someone docks this bank. This woman needs to be fired. Call Channel 7 News. Kwame opens his laptop, a sleek MacBook Pro. Patricia's eyes narrow at the expensive device, but she dismisses it. Playing computer games while you wait? How fitting. She doesn't see what's actually on his screen. A PowerPoint presentation titled, Richardson Capital Q1 Performance Review. Slide after slide of financial data. Portfolio values. Investment returns. 3:30 p.m. The online firestorm intensifies. Angela whispers to her phone. Y'all, this man has been sitting here for 2.5 hours. Look at how they're treating him versus... She plans to show a white woman walking directly to the executive office without waiting. The woman, blonde, designer handbag, no appointment, gets immediate service. Mrs. Henderson, Patricia practically purrs. Robert will see you right away. The contrast is stark, intentional, humiliating. Jerome shifts near the elevator, radio crackling with updates. His discomfort is visible. Patricia notices. Jerome, maybe you should escort this gentleman out. He's clearly confused about where he belongs. Jerome's jaw clenches. Ma'am, he's not causing any trouble. He's just sitting there. Exactly. Just sitting there. Taking up space meant for premium clients. 3:45 p.m. Social media explodes beyond Instagram. #First National Shame now trends on Twitter with 8,943 posts. TikTok videos emerge with titles like Banking While Black and Racism at First National Bank Chicago. Local news stations monitor the hashtag. Channel 7's investigative team starts making calls. Sarah Carter receives her 4th angry phone call in 10 minutes. Her face grows progressively paler as she watches the online metrics. Patricia, we need to resolve this now, Sarah hisses through gritted teeth. But Patricia doubles down. I know what I'm doing. He's trying to embarrass us. Some kind of setup. Why else would someone record? She approaches Angela directly. Ma'am, I'm asking you to stop recording. This is harassment. Harassment? Angela's voice rises. You mean like making a black man wait 3 hours for his scheduled appointment while serving white people without appointments? The live stream audience erupts. Viewer count, 4,856 and climbing. 4:00 p.m. 3 hours. Exactly 3 hours since Kwame's appointment time. Patricia makes one final attempt to force him out. Mr. What did you say your name was again? She knows his name. It's on the appointment board. This is deliberate erasure. Richardson, Kwame responds calmly. Right, Mr. Richardson. I'm going to level with you. Executive banking requires a minimum relationship of $5 million. Minimum. We're talking about private wealth management, not regular checking accounts. She leans in closer, her voice dropping to a venomous whisper meant only for him. Between you and me, you seem like a nice enough guy. But you're wasting everyone's time. This isn't charity. We don't do community outreach here. The racial coding is unmistakable. Other clients pretend not to listen, but their discomfort is obvious. Kwame's phone buzzes. Multiple texts appear. Emergency board meeting moved to 4:30 p.m. Stock price dropping. Need immediate response. Legal team standing by. He responds to one text, typing calmly, Everything is proceeding as expected, documentation complete. Patricia notices his phone activity. Important business call? Her sarcasm drips poison. Let me guess, your boss is wondering where you are? 4:15 p.m. Angela's live stream reaches critical mass. A local black Twitter influencer with 847,000 followers shares the video. The story jumps platforms, Reddit's R Public Freakout, Facebook community groups, LinkedIn professional networks. First National Bank's corporate social media accounts flood with mentions. Their stock ticker shows a slight downward trend as investors notice the viral controversy. Patricia remains oblivious to the digital avalanche she's created. Ma'am, Jerome approaches Patricia carefully. Maybe we should... What? Patricia snaps. Check his appointment again? Maybe call Robert? I don't need to check anything. Look at him. She gestures dismissively at Kwame. Does he look like someone with $5 million? And Jerome's expression hardens. 26 years of military service, and he recognizes racism when he sees it. Ma'am, with respect, I can't tell someone's net worth by looking at them. Patricia's face flushes red. Are you questioning my judgment? I'm questioning this whole situation. 4:30 p.m. The breaking point arrives. Robert Sterling finally emerges from his office, having finished with Mrs. Henderson. He's tall, silver-haired, expensively dressed. Old money confidence. Patricia intercepts him immediately. Robert, thank God. There's a situation. This gentleman has been waiting 3 hours claiming he has an appointment with you. I've tried to explain our clientele requirements, but he won't leave. Robert glances at Kwame, then at his appointment book. His expression shifts slightly. K. Richardson, 1 p.m. Executive consultation. He looks up, confused. Patricia, this appointment has been on my calendar for 2 weeks. Patricia's confidence wavers for the first time. But look at him. He can't possibly... Can't possibly what? Robert's tone grows cold. The executive floor falls silent. Even Angela's live stream audience seems to hold its breath. Viewer count, 7,234. Patricia realizes she's trapped. 3 hours of discrimination, dozens of witnesses, thousands of viewers, all documented. I was just being cautious, protecting our standards. Robert studies the appointment details on his tablet. His expression grows increasingly troubled. Mr. Richardson, I sincerely apologize for the delay. Please come in immediately. But Kwame doesn't move. Not yet. Actually, he says calmly, opening his laptop screen wider, since everyone's here, perhaps we should discuss this matter publicly. His phone rings. The sound echoes across the marble floor. Patricia's world is about to shatter completely. Angela's live stream hits 8,943 viewers. The comments section explodes. Oh snap! Here we go! Plot twist incoming. This is about to get good. Kwame answers the phone with deliberate calm. Richardson here. The voice on the other end is crystal clear, professional, and unmistakably authoritative. Mr. Richardson, this is Chairman Morrison's office. The board meeting has been moved up. Are you still at the Michigan Avenue branch? Patricia's face drains of all colors. Every eye on the executive floor focuses on Kwame. The 3-hour humiliation is about to become the most expensive mistake of Patricia's career. The voice from Kwame's phone carries across the silent marble floor. Mr. Richardson, this is Linda Morrison, Chairman Morrison's executive assistant. The emergency board meeting has been moved to 4:45 p.m. Are you still at the Michigan Avenue branch? Patricia's knees nearly buckle. Chairman Morrison, William Morrison, CEO of First National Bank Corporation. The man who signs her paychecks. The man whose portrait hangs in the lobby downstairs. Yes, Linda, I'm still here. There seems to be some confusion about my appointment. Kwame's voice remains eerily calm, like he's discussing the weather. Confusion? Linda's tone sharpens through the speaker. Sir, you're our largest private equity client. Our most important relationship. What kind of confusion could there possibly be? Kwame glances at Patricia, whose face has turned the color of an old newspaper. Her carefully applied makeup begins to streak as perspiration beads on her forehead. Perhaps you should speak with the branch manager directly. Ms. Patricia Walsh has been very thorough in explaining the bank's standards. The silence stretches like a taut wire ready to snap. Angela's live stream viewer count explodes in real time. 12,847, 15,023, 18,456. Each number represents another witness to Patricia's professional execution. Put me on speaker, please, Linda requests, her professional tone carrying an edge of steel. Kwame complies with deliberate slowness. His voice echoes through the executive floor like a judge announcing a verdict. You're the speaker, Linda. Ms. Walsh, this is Linda Morrison from corporate headquarters. I need you to explain something to me very carefully. Why has our most important private equity client been waiting 3 hours for his scheduled appointment? Patricia's mouth opens and closes like a fish out of water. Her 12-year career, the promotions, the performance bonuses, the company car, flashes before her eyes in slow motion. There must be some mistake. He doesn't look like... She catches herself, realizing the trap. Doesn't it look like what, Ms. Walsh? Linda's voice could cut glass. The question hangs in the air like an executioner's blade. Every person on the executive floor leans in. Angela adjusts her phone angle to capture Patricia's face perfectly. Robert Sterling steps forward, his silver hair catching the chandelier light. His face is grave, professional concern etched in every line. Linda, this is Robert. I think I can explain. No need, Robert. The explanation is quite clear. Linda's voice carries 20 years of corporate authority. Mr. Richardson, please accept our sincerest apologies. I'm calling Chairman Morrison immediately. The line goes dead with a soft click that sounds like a coffin closing. Patricia stares at Kwame as if seeing an alien being. Her mind races, trying to process the impossible equation. The polo shirt, the khakis, the quiet demeanor. None of it computes with largest private equity client. You're not... She stammers, her voice barely above a whisper. Kwame calmly opens his laptop and rotates the screen toward the gathering crowd. The sleek presentation fills the display, each slide a calculated blow to Patricia's crumbling world. Richardson Capital Management. Kwame Richardson. Managing partner and founder. Assets under management. $2.847 billion founded. 2018. Headquarters. Chicago. IL. Patricia's legs give out. She grabs the marble counter for support, her manicured fingernails scraping against the stone. The sound echoes like fingernails on a chalkboard. The second slide appears with devastating precision. Client Portfolio Overview. Institutional clients, 847 average annual returns, 23.7%, 5-year performance. Fortune 500 companies served, 156 international markets, 34 countries. Employee count, 2,147 globally. Office locations, Chicago, New York, London, Tokyo, Dubai. Angela zooms her phone camera on the laptop screen. Her live stream audience erupts in a digital stampede. Holy shit! This is insane! Plot twist of the century! She's so done for! This man is a billionaire! Viewer count, 23,891 and climbing like a rocket. Kwame advances to the third slide with surgical precision, each click of his trackpad another nail in Patricia's professional coffin. First National Bank relationship. Total deposits across Richardson entities, $847 million. Annual lending fees generated, $67.8 million. Investment banking revenue, $124.3 million. Private wealth management fees, $23.4 million. Current stock ownership, 11.7%. Fourth largest individual shareholder. Relationship duration, 7 years. Credit facilities, $340 million approved. Patricia's face turns the color of ash. The numbers swim before her eyes. Incomprehensible. Devastating. Career-ending. This can't be real, she whispers, her voice cracking like dried parchment. Other clients on the executive floor edge closer, smartphones appearing in hands. The discrimination that was meant to be private is now becoming a public spectacle witnessed by dozens. Kwame's phone rings again. This time, the caller ID displays in large, unmistakable letters, William Morrison, Chairman and CEO. The executive floor falls silent except for the soft hum of air conditioning and Angela's whispered play-by-play commentary to her rapidly growing audience. "Richardson here," Kwame answers, his voice steady as bedrock. "Kwame!" Chairman Morrison's voice booms through the speaker like thunder. Jesus Christ, what the hell is happening at Michigan Avenue? Linda just briefed me. You've been waiting 3 hours? 3 goddamn hours? Patricia sways on her feet like a tree in a hurricane. Other clients edge closer, sensing they're witnessing something historic. Sarah Carter appears at the edge of the crowd, her face pale as moonlight. I have indeed, Bill. Ms. Walsh here has been very thorough in explaining that I don't meet the bank's standards for executive banking services. Morrison's silence is deafening. When he speaks again, his voice could freeze hell itself. Put Ms. Walsh on the phone, right now. Patricia shakes her head frantically, backing away from Kwame's extended phone like it's a loaded weapon. I can't. I need to. This is impossible. You don't understand. Ms. Walsh. Morrison's voice cuts through her panic like a scythe through wheat. I know you can hear me. You are suspended immediately pending a full investigation. Security will escort you from the building within the hour. Your access cards are being deactivated as we speak. Patricia's professional death sentence, delivered publicly, witnessed by dozens of people and thousands of live stream viewers. But Kwame isn't finished, not even close. He advances to the fourth slide, and the numbers on the screen hit Patricia like physical blows. Today's impact analysis. Social media mentions 47,832, 97% negative sentiment. Viral video views, 890,000 plus, increasing exponentially. Stock price impact, 0.67 per share, equals 12.8 mm market cap loss. Projected quarterly damage if unresolved, $89.4 million. Estimated customer account closures, 12,000 plus corporate reputation damage, incalculable. The numbers are staggering. Each statistic represents thousands of dollars, hundreds of jobs, millions in shareholder value evaporating because of 3 hours of discrimination. In the 3 hours I've waited in your lobby, Kwame continues with devastating calm, Richardson Capital's automated trading systems have processed 4,847 individual transactions across 17 global markets. We've generated $2.8 million in commission revenue today alone. He pauses, letting that sink in. That's revenue your bank will never see again. Patricia stumbles backward, her designer heels clicking erratically on marble. The fifth slide appears, real-time financial impact. Angela's viral video, 1.2 M views in past hour, First National. Shame, 67,000 posts and trending corporate Twitter mentions. 23,847, emergency PR mode activated. News outlet pickups. CNN, CNBC, Wall Street Journal, Reuters. Estimated brand damage, $47.3 million and rising by the minute. Angela's live stream comment section scrolls impossibly fast, a digital waterfall of outrage. Dragged her to absolute filth. With receipts and everything. This is legendary level karma. Someone call the burn unit. Viewer count, 34,567. Local news vans are already en route to the bank. Patricia finds her voice, though it cracks like a teenager's. How was I supposed to know? You look so... She catches herself again, realizing every word is being recorded for posterity. Kwame's response is surgical in its precision. By doing your job, by checking appointments, by treating all customers with basic human dignity, regardless of their appearance. He clicks to the most devastating slide yet, Patricia Walsh Performance Review. Customer complaints filed, 67, highest in district, discrimination training, last completed 2019, overdue, diversity metrics, bottom 5% of all branch managers. Previous incidents, 12 documented cases of bias. Performance reviews, needs improvement in cultural sensitivity. Termination risk, previously flagged by HR. You've been tracking me? Patricia's voice is barely a whisper. We track all our banking relationships. Your pattern of discrimination has been documented for months. Today was simply the final test. The revelation hits like a lightning bolt. This wasn't accidental. It was planned. Orchestrated. A carefully laid trap that Patricia walked into with her eyes wide open. Sarah Carter steps forward, her phone pressed to her ear, her face the color of fresh snow. Kwame, Mr. Richardson. I've just spoken with corporate communications. They're in full crisis mode. The video has been picked up by every major news outlet. The stock is down 3% in after-hours trading. She turns to Patricia with barely controlled fury. 12 years of your career and you've just cost us our most valuable client relationship and millions in market cap. The full scope of Patricia's destruction becomes clear. Not just her job, not just her career. She single-handedly created a corporate crisis that will reverberate through boardrooms and newsrooms for months to come. But the real consequences are only beginning. Jerome approaches Patricia with quiet professionalism, his security radio crackling softly. But Patricia isn't his immediate concern anymore. The real power shift is happening at Kwame's laptop. Mr. Richardson, Chairman Morrison's voice crackles through the phone speaker. I'm convening an emergency board meeting. Can you give us 15 minutes? Of course, Bill. Kwame's tone remains measured. But I think everyone here should understand the full scope of what's at stake. He clicks to a new slide, and the numbers on screen make Sarah Carter visibly wince. Financial leverage analysis. Richardson Capital. Voting power, 11.7%, 47.8 million shares. Market influence through client portfolios, 847 M in managed deposits. Total relationship value, $1.2 billion annually. Competitor banks courting. Richardson, J.P. Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America. Contract termination clause, 30-day notice period. Jesus, Sarah whispers, calculating the implications. Losing Richardson Capital wouldn't just cost millions, it would trigger a domino effect of client departures. Angela's live stream hits 52,000 viewers. Comments flood in faster than she can read. This man just checkmated an entire bank. Corporate America is shaking. Get this man a Netflix documentary. Patricia, now seated in a chair with Jerome standing nearby, looks shell-shocked. Her world has collapsed in 20 minutes. Kwame advances to his demands slide. Non-negotiable terms for continued partnership. Immediate actions, 48 hours. Public apology from First National Bank. Corporate. Complete termination of Patricia Walsh's employment review of all Michigan Avenue branch staff for bias training compliance. Independent audit of customer service protocols. Short-term reforms, 90 days. 5. Mandatory unconscious bias training for all management, quarterly refreshers. 6. Diverse hiring initiative. 40% minority representation in management by Q4 2025. 7. Third-party customer service monitoring system. 8. $25 million community investment fund for minority-owned businesses. Long-term accountability, 12 months. 9. Annual diversity and inclusion reporting, public disclosure. 10. Customer complaint resolution tracked by demographics. 11. Partnership with HBCUs for internship programs. 12. Board diversity requirements, minimum 30% minority representation. Robert Sterling, the executive banker, finally speaks up. Mr. Richardson, these terms are extensive. The board will need time to... Time? Kwame's interruption is soft but cutting. Robert, I gave you 3 hours today. How much time do you think the market will give First National when this story breaks on the evening news? As if summoned by his words, the lobby security desk calls up. Ms. Carter? Channel 7 News is in the lobby requesting interviews about a discrimination incident. Sarah's face goes pale. Tell them no comment and refer them to corporate communications. But the damage is accelerating beyond anyone's control. Angela's video has been shared 15,000 times in the past hour. First National. Shame is trending nationally on Twitter. Kwame clicks to his most devastating slide yet. Competitive analysis. Switching costs. J.P. Morgan Chase. Private bank relationship manager. David Kim, former Goldman Sachs MD, switching incentive, 5M, credit toward fees. Setup timeline, 14 days. Additional benefits, priority access to IPO allocations. Goldman Sachs, private wealth. Relationship manager, Maria Rodriguez, 15 years experience. Switching incentive, 8 modular credit, plus dedicated analyst team. Setup timeline, 10 days. Additional benefits, exclusive investment opportunities. Bank of America, private bank. Relationship manager, James Washington, Harvard MBA. Switching incentive, 12 EMS credit plus fee waivers. Setup timeline, 7 days. Additional benefits, global relationship coverage. Other banks have very aggressive in their recruitment efforts, Kwame notes calmly. They've made it remarkably easy to switch. The implication is clear. Richardson Capital isn't trapped here. First National needs them far more than they need First National. Sarah Carter's phone buzzes with emergency texts. CNN Business wants statement. Wall Street Journal calling in 10 mins. Stock down 4.2% after hours. She looks up at Kwame with desperate professionalism. Mr. Richardson, what can we do right now to begin making this right? Kwame checks his watch. 4:47 p.m. The board meeting Bill mentioned. I'd like to address them directly. That's unusual, Robert stammers. Board meetings are typically don't involve your largest client being discriminated against for 3 hours while thousands watch it live, Kwame finishes. I think we're past typical. Angela zooms in on Patricia, who sits motionless, staring at the floor. The woman who wielded power so carelessly 3 hours ago now looks fragile, broken. Ma'am, Jerome says gently to Patricia. I need to escort you out now. Patricia stands slowly, her designer suit wrinkled, her confidence shattered. As she passes Kwame's chair, she stops. I'm sorry, she whispers. I didn't mean for it to... Kwame looks up at her for the first time since the revelations began. His expression isn't angry, it's disappointed, which somehow feels worse. Patricia, you meant every word you said, every dismissive gesture, every condescending smile. His voice is quiet but firm. The only thing you didn't mean was to get caught. Patricia's face crumples. Jerome gently guides her toward the elevator. As the elevator doors close on Patricia's career, Kwame's phone rings again. The caller ID reads, Board Conference Line. Richardson here? Kwame, this is Bill Morrison with the full board. We're conferenced in from our homes. Can you hear us clearly? Crystal clear, Bill. We've been monitoring the situation. First, let me say that what happened today is unconscionable and does not represent our values as an institution. Kwame clicks to a new slide. Accountability metrics. Previous incidents at First National. Past 3 years. Documented discrimination complaints, 247 settlements paid, $12.8 million. Branch closures in minority communities, 17 diversity training completion rate, 34%. Management diversity, 12% minority representation. With respect, Bill, the data suggests otherwise. The board falls silent. Board member Dr. Elena Rodriguez speaks up. Mr. Richardson, your demands are substantial. The $25 million community fund alone is less than the market cap you lost today, Kwame interrupts smoothly, and represents 0.02% of your annual revenue. Hardly substantial for an institution that profits $11.2 billion annually. Another board member, Thomas Carter, tries a different approach. The timeline you've proposed is aggressive, 90 days for a 40% diversity target. Is exactly what you'd demand if a client threatened to pull $1.2 billion, Kwame responds. I've seen this bank move mountains for smaller clients when it suited your interests. Chairman Morrison retakes control. Kwame, we want to make this right. What's your timeline for a decision? Kwame glances at Angela, whose live stream now shows 67,000 viewers. The story has gone nuclear. The market opens in 16 hours. By then, every financial news outlet will be running this story. Every competitor will be calling my office. He pauses for effect. I need your answer before the market opens. That's... Morrison starts. Non-negotiable, Kwame finishes. 16 hours to decide if First National Bank believes in accountability or just damage control. Sarah Carter approaches with a tablet showing real-time social media metrics. The numbers are staggering. 2.3 million video views across platforms. 89,000 shares in past hour. First National. Shame. 156,000 posts. Competitor banks already posting diversity messaging. Mr. Richardson, Morrison's voice carries new urgency. We accept your terms, all of them. I'm calling an emergency board vote tonight. But Kwame isn't finished. He has one final slide. Implementation timeline. Week 1. Public apology, staff review, policy audit begins. Week 4. Community fund established, bias training rollout. Week 8. Third-party monitoring system operational. Week 12. First quarterly diversity report published. Month 6. Mid-year progress review with Richardson. Capital Month 12. Full compliance assessment and relationship renewal. This isn't just about money, Kwame says, his voice carrying across the silent floor. It's about proving that systemic change is possible when people are held accountable. Angela's live stream comment section explodes with appreciation. This is how you create change. Not just revenge, actual reform. Corporate America needs more of this. The viewer count hits 78,000 as news outlets begin picking up the live stream. Kwame closes his laptop with quiet finality. Gentlemen, ladies, I look forward to your board's decision. Angela, thank you for documenting everything. He stands, adjusts his messenger bag, and walks toward the elevator with the same calm dignity he displayed 3 hours ago. But now everyone knows exactly who they're watching leave. The most expensive lesson in banking history has just concluded. The real work begins tomorrow. 6 months later. Same marble floor, same crystal chandelier, completely different world. Angela Torres badges into First National Bank's Michigan Avenue branch, not as a customer, but as the newly appointed Community Relations Director. Her salary, $95,000 annually, funded by the Richardson Community Investment Fund. The changes are immediately visible. Digital screens throughout the lobby display real-time diversity metrics. Customer Service Equality Dashboard shows response times tracked by demographics. No one waits more than 10 minutes, regardless of appearance. Jerome Washington, former security guard, now wears a crisp suit as Customer Experience Manager. His first initiative, mandatory sensitivity training for all staff, delivered by formerly discriminated customers who share their stories. Morning, Angela, Jerome calls out. Channel 7 wants to interview you about the 6-month progress report. Angela grins. Her viral live stream that day has evolved into a documentary film deal and speaking engagements at corporate conferences nationwide. But her proudest achievement sits behind the executive banking counter. Shanice Williams, 28, African-American MBA from Northwestern, processes a $2.3 million business loan application. 6 months ago, this position was impossible for someone who didn't fit the culture. Now, Shanice is the branch's top performer. The transformation metrics are staggering. First National Bank, 6-month results. Customer satisfaction, up 47%, highest in company history. Minority business lending, up 340%. Staff diversity, 43% minority management, exceeded 40% target. Discrimination complaints, down 89%. Stock price, up 23% from crisis low. new accounts from minority communities, plus $847 million in deposits. The Richardson Fund impact. Minority businesses funded, 234 jobs created, 1,847 average loan size, $47,000, repayment rate, 96.7%. Communities served, 47. Chicago neighborhoods. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, now board chair for diversity and inclusion, reviews monthly reports with genuine pride. These aren't just numbers, she tells the quarterly board meeting. They represent fundamental culture change. But the most dramatic transformation sits in Patricia Walsh's former office. Marcus Carter, 34, Chinese-American former Goldman Sachs VP, now serves as branch manager. His first action, personally greeting every customer regardless of their banking level. His office wall displays a framed photo, not of awards or achievements, but of Angela's viral live stream moment. Underneath, a simple plaque, "Never again." The phone call that started Patricia's downfall led to the most comprehensive banking reform in Chicago's history. Corporate accountability measures implemented. The Richardson Protocol. Facial recognition alerts management when VIP clients arrive. Customer service tracking by race, gender, age demographics. Mandatory 15-minute maximum wait times for all appointments. Real-time discrimination reporting system. Staff. Transformation. Quarterly bias training. 100% completion rate. Customer service scored by mystery shoppers from diverse backgrounds. Performance reviews now include cultural competency metrics. Promotion requirements include diversity advocacy training. Community investment. $25 million fund fully deployed ahead of schedule. HBCU internship program. 67 students placed in management tracks. Free financial literacy programs in 23 minority communities. Partnership with minority-owned credit unions. The legal impact rippled far beyond First National. Illinois passed the Richardson Banking Accountability Act, requiring all financial institutions to publicly report discrimination complaints and resolution timeframes. 12 other major banks voluntarily adopted similar reforms to avoid their own First National moments. Individual outcomes. Patricia Walsh, blacklisted from banking industry. Works retail customer service at Target. Her LinkedIn profile has 3 connections. Local news follows up occasionally. She always declines interviews. Sarah Carter, promoted to regional director, now oversees diversity compliance for 47 branches across Illinois. Her first hire, Angela Torres as corporate diversity consultant. Robert Sterling, completed intensive bias training, now mentors minority executives. His client portfolio includes 23 Black-owned businesses, generating $12.8 million in annual fees. Jerome Washington, from security guard to corporate trainer. His Banking While Black workshops are mandatory for 847 employees across the First National system. Starting salary, $78,000. But the most powerful validation comes from an unexpected source. Kwame's reflection. Richardson Capital not only maintained their First National relationship, they deepened it. The bank's transformation attracted $340 million in new investments from socially conscious institutional clients. True power, Kwame tells the Harvard Business School case study researchers, isn't proving you belong. It's ensuring others never have to prove it again. His office wall displays Angela's original live stream screenshot. 47 viewers, 3 hours of discrimination, one man's quiet dignity changing corporate America. The ripple effect. 6 universities now teach the First National case study in business ethics courses. The Harvard Business Review featured it as Leveraged Accountability, How One Client Transformed Corporate Culture. But perhaps the most meaningful change happens daily at 4:30 p.m. when the Michigan Avenue branch hosts Community Banking Hours, free financial services for underserved neighborhoods. The marble floor that once echoed with discriminatory dismissals now welcomes everyone. Angela, reviewing her day's social media posts about systemic change, spots a comment that makes her smile. This is what happens when quiet power meets loud injustice. Real change, not just viral moments. The 2.3 million views led to $2.3 billion in policy changes across the banking industry. One live stream, one patient man, one system transformed. The most expensive 3-hour wait in banking history became the most valuable lesson in corporate accountability. Black stories matter. Life stories matter. Real stories create touching change. Today, 2 years after that historic 3-hour wait, Kwame Richardson stands before 2,000 executives at the National Banking Conference in New York. Behind him, a massive screen displays Angela's original live stream screenshot. 47 viewers watching discrimination in real time. Systemic change, he tells the audience, doesn't happen through anger or confrontation. It happens through accountability, documentation, and strategic pressure applied at the right moment. The applause is thunderous. But the real impact lives in the data. National impact. 24 months later, 847 banks adopted Richardson-style protocols. Nationwide federal banking regulators cite First National as gold standard for inclusive banking, $2.7 billion in new minority business lending, attributed to policy changes. 89 corporate discrimination lawsuits referenced the First National case as precedent. Richardson Capital now manages $4.2 billion in assets, with 67% of new clients choosing them specifically because of their advocacy for systemic change. Angela Torres just signed a 3-book deal. Her memoir, Going Live: How One Video Changed Corporate America, debuts at number 3 on the New York Times bestseller list. But she hasn't forgotten her roots. Every Tuesday at 3 p.m., Angela hosts Real Talk Tuesday on her YouTube channel, now with 847,000 subscribers. She highlights discrimination stories submitted by viewers, connecting victims with legal resources and amplifying voices that might otherwise be silenced. Last month's episode featured a Latina professor denied tenure despite stellar credentials. The university, coincidentally, reversed their decision after the video hit 2.3 million views. The movement grows. Accountability. Matters has generated 12.8 million posts across social platforms. Corporate executives now think twice before dismissing anyone, knowing they might be one live stream away from career destruction. Jerome Washington's bias training programs have expanded to 234 companies across 23 states. His favorite statistic: 96% of participants report significant mindset shifts after completing his workshops. The most touching transformation? Patricia Walsh. After 2 years of retail work and community service, she reached out to Angela with a handwritten letter. I know I can never undo the harm I caused, but I want to use my experience to help others recognize their biases before they destroy lives. If you'll have me, I'd like to volunteer for your bias training programs. Angela's response was swift. Everyone deserves a chance to grow. Patricia now shares her story at corporate workshops, a cautionary tale about the cost of discrimination. Her presentations consistently receive standing ovations from executives who see themselves in her fall from grace. The enduring message. Kwame's Harvard Business School lecture series, Quiet Power: Strategic Activism in Corporate America, is oversubscribed every semester. Students learn that lasting change comes not from viral outrage, but from strategic documentation, economic pressure, and systematic reform. His final slide always shows the same image: an empty leather chair in a marble-floored bank lobby. That chair, he tells students, represents every person who's been made to wait, dismissed, or underestimated because of how they look. Your job is to ensure no one has to sit in that chair again. And your voice matters. These real-life stories of quiet strength and systematic change happen every day. But they only create lasting impact when we document them, share them, and demand accountability. What you can do right now. Comment below. Share your own experience with workplace or service discrimination. Tag someone who needs to hear this story of strategic resistance. Subscribe to Black Voices Speak for more stories of individuals who transformed entire systems through documentation and strategic action. Share this video. If you believe accountability creates lasting change. Remember, discrimination thrives in silence. Your documentation matters. Your story matters. Your voice can change systems. Coming next week. Teacher's simple question exposes 50-miler school district scandal. The superintendent never saw it coming. Subscribe now. Your voice is next.